Do you ever wake up and before your feet even hit the floor, you already feel behind for the day? Like the day is already slipping through your fingers and you're just, hoping that you don't lose control of the day. Or in my case, I was hoping that I didn't lose control of food for the day again. That used to be every single day for me until I started doing these 5 simple things every morning. Now, they are super simple, but they are super powerful. And they help me stay on track, not just with food, but with my mindset, my energy, and my commitment to myself. So, let me tell you something. I didn't used to have a morning routine. So I actually thought they were kind of dumb. I didn't get the point of them, but what I did have was morning chaos. And I actually thought that was pretty normal for me. So waking up and immediately scrolling on my phone and feeling overwhelmed by everything that I hadn't done, trust me, just looking at yesterday's to-do list with so many unchecked boxes gave me so much anxiety. I would start thinking about food in order to escape from the day before the day had even started. So it was rough, guys. I thought mornings didn't matter, the routine didn't matter, but what I learned is how you start your day sets the tone for everything else. These 5 things have helped me stay grounded in my health, healing, and weight loss journey, and more importantly, feel in control of my choices again. So, let's get into what I do for my morning routine. So, the first thing I do is I drink a big glass of water before doing anything else. As a matter of fact, I bring it the night before into the bedroom, into my jar that I have, my container that I have that it's insulated and it keeps it cold for 24 hours. So I don't even have to leave my bedroom. I do this before checking my messages. I do it before I even talk to anyone. So I hydrate. And why do I do this? I do it because it sends a message to my body that I am taking care of myself today. It also wakes up my digestion. It refreshes my brain. And honestly, this is going to sound kind of weird, but to me, it just feels like I'm giving myself a little bit of love. So sometimes we just want to jump into all the hard stuff, right? But the very first act of healing is a gentle nourishment for you and your soul, your body and your soul. This is me saying to my body, we're not going to punish you anymore. We're here to take care of you. So, number 2, the second thing I do, is I check in with myself emotionally. So, I used to wake up and immediately try to distract myself. So, now I will pause and I will sit quietly just for a couple of minutes. And I'll ask myself, how am I feeling this morning? And what do I need for me today? And sometimes I journal and sometimes I just do deep breathing. But every single day I give myself space to check in. Because food is usually how I would have, avoid my feelings, but now I face them. And to me, this is the best way to do that. So the third thing that I do is I move my body. Even if it's just, a little bit of movement. So it's not a workout. I keep my workouts for later in the day, but it is movement with purpose. So I will stretch. Now I have a problem with my lymphatics, so I have to every single day do something for my lymphatics. So, I might rebound in the morning as well. or I will march in place a little bit. And when I do that, I sometimes will listen to something motivational. Now, why do I do this small amount of movement first thing in the morning? It's because for me, motion creates momentum. And even this small amount of movement tells my brain that I am not stuck and that I am moving forward. And it also will help me interrupt the old pattern where mornings would feel real heavy and foggy for me. And like I just didn't feel good when I woke up. But now I feel great when I wake up. I feel awake and alive and refreshed. Now, the fourth thing I do is I eat a very simple breakfast. And it's one that will support my health. Now, this one took me the longest to actually do. I was able to get it right. But because I used to skip breakfast, it was really hard for me to do this one. But now I understand the reason I was never hungry for breakfast. I always thought it was just because I wasn't a morning or breakfast person, but I have come to find that that is not the case. However, that is for another video. But back to my breakfast. Now I have a few go-to breakfasts that I don't even have to think about. One reason for that is I always prep them ahead of time, which is, always a good thing for me. And so my breakfast usually looks something like overnight oats with strawberries and blueberries, or something new I've been doing is if I'm not in the mood for oats, I'll do like a fruit bowl. So I'll do berries plus some nuts and seeds, and then I'll do some homemade hemp milk on top. And so you kind of eat it like a cereal. And on special occasions, I sometimes have a waffle from a homemade batter and I put berries on top of that. No syrup or anything like that. The key for me is it's SOS-free, it's whole food plant-based, and it is so comforting and nourishing without being any kind of trigger for me. So I always start my day with food that is going to love me. So I don't spend the rest of my day trying to undo what I ate in the morning. And the fifth thing that I do is I set one promise that I'm going to keep for the day. So this by far is my favorite one. Some of the other ones make me feel really good, but this one is my favorite. And I do this by not setting like 10 goals and not overwhelming myself or my nervous system. I pick one small goal or promise that supports who I am. So you guys may know that I have a salad for lunch, a big main meal salad. And so I don't like to pre-prep that because I want it fresh. So maybe that promise is I'm going to prep my lunch today. Maybe that's the only one that I can keep for the day. And I know I can keep that one. So I will do that. But maybe I'll say I'll go for a walk before dinner. Or I'll speak kindly to myself when I make a mistake. But here's why this really works and is so important, I believe. Every single time that I keep a promise to myself, I build self-trust. And when you build trust in yourself, then you will stop giving up on yourself. Now, you don't need a perfect morning or just the perfect routine. You don't need a 17-step routine. I didn't even start with the 5 I have now. I started with just one thing. But you do need intention. So these 5 things have helped me start each day with clarity and compassion and commitment. And they don't take long for me to do. They aren't complicated. But for me, they are extremely sacred. The reason behind that is they remind me that I am not who I used to be. I am someone now who shows up for myself. And it's not just for weight loss, but it's also for my health and healing journey. And also for the life that I want to live. So comment below what's one thing that you do or that you want to start doing in the morning to take care of you. And until our next conversation, thanks for joining me on my journey, and allowing me to be a part of yours. Bye for now.